Malayaliam pole. Kattan chaya at any time of the day is such a vibe for me. Hi, welcome to Gija Delights. While I was enjoying a relaxing kattan chaya the other day, this idea suddenly hit me. Why not a cake with those mulberries I picked up on Instamart? And I said yes, so I put my apron on to set the baking mode on. And I started prepping the berries. I first used pinch and pull technique, but it didn't go well. It was just consuming my time, and I feel like it isn't an efficient method. So I took a kitchen shear to snip the stems off. Angane, I got these berries destemmed and I got a bowl full of it. With those berries, I first made mulberry syrup. In the syrup, I collected 2 cups water, 1 cup sugar, these destemmed berries, and some honey in a bowl and made it to boil. To ease this process of boiling and getting the syrup into the right consistency, I used a potato masher in between to squeeze these berries and stir it well. Angane, we got a perfect mulberry syrup, and I set it aside to let it cool. അപ്പോഴേക്കും mummy joined in saying happy to assist എന്ന്. And I was very happy to have some assistance and good company for this process. Well, then we moved on to make our next task, that is to make a base cake with vanilla. അതിനായിട്ട് ഒരു കപ്പ് ഷുഗർ മിക്സറിലിട്ട് പൊടിച്ച് അടിച്ച് എടുത്ത് മാറ്റി വെച്ചു. And then in a bowl we added 1 cup curd, 1 cup vegetable oil, and these മാറ്റി വച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന sugar along with this 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour, that is maida, and half teaspoons of baking soda and baking powder were added together and mixed well. And of course, since it's a vanilla cake, we use 2 to 3 drops of vanilla essence for an added flavor. And just like that, a perfect batter was born. Next up, the oven. I prepped the tray with baking paper and a touch of oil. I poured in the batter and transferred it into the oven, setting the temperature to 170 degrees Celsius. And then came the hardest part, the waiting. Well, after a long 30-35 minutes of baking, our baked cake was ready. Trust me, no exaggeration, that vanilla aroma was truly captivating. It was literally there in the air. Although I was a bit tired by then, that lovely smell really kept me going. That feeling or that conviction of almost reaching your goal was a real booster for me. It may be because it's my first cake, but it was still there. Anyways, back to our baking story. Now what's left to do is filling and setting the cake with frosting cream. For both, we need a perfect frosting cream with the right consistency. So I mixed the butter, whipping cream, and mulberry syrup and beated it to a fluffy texture. And now to add the fillings, we sliced the cake into 2 and coated a layer of frosting cream, then a berry syrup, and again a coat of cream. And I placed the other layer of the cake, that is the top layer, over it, and adum cream വെച്ച് സെറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് ഫ്രിഡ്ജിൽ വെച്ചു for about 20 minutes. And honestly, അപ്പോഴേക്കും ഞാൻ കുറച്ചേറെ എക്സോസ്റ്റഡ് ആയി. And that was mainly because all my attempts to do the decor and piping designs were an utter flop. Yes, I know, that's just a room for improvement. പക്ഷേ I wasn't this positive then. I was a bit disappointed. ഏതായാലും കൃത്യസമയത്ത് my mummy was in a conference call with my sister and brother. So they shared some tips to encourage me and they pushed me to go on. Anyways, ആ push കൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും with a grit to not give up, I finally settled for a simple, feasible decor idea. The idea was to pour the remaining berry syrup on top of the cake to give a berry finish or the purple finish, and then garnish it with black raisins. Well, I did that, and ta-da! My very first mulberry cake is ready. Of course, it doesn't have that great finish, but it's my first cake, and I love it.